Today we are going to discussing the chapter 5, that is the data acquiring, organizing, processing and analytics. Let us see what is the first topic, that is the data generation. Data generates at a device that later on transfer to the internet through a gateway. So by using the devices we can generate the data. That generated data has to be transmitted through the internet. If we want to use the internet we have to use the gateway channels. So data generates as follows. So various kinds of data we can generate. Let us see what are those. First one is a passive device data. Data generates at the device or system following the result of interaction. So by using the device or a system we are generates the data through the following interactions. Let us see what is a passive device data. A passive device doesn't have its own power source. An external source helps such a device to generate and sense data. A passive data doesn't have its own power source, so it uses the external source. By using that external source such as a device to generate and sense the data. The best example is RFID or an ATM debit card. So you are familiar with your debit card. The device may or may not have an associated microcontrollers, memory and transceivers. These devices may are not associated with these microcontroller, memory and transceivers. A contactless code is an example of the former, and a label or a barcode is the example of the latter. So we are using these best example as a contactless codes as a former and a label. So we are going to be using a label. That is the best example is a barcode. This is the best example of a passive device data. So without using the external source we are unable to identify what data it exists. Got it? Yes. Next one is active device data. Let us see what is an active device data. An active device data has its own power source. If the device data is having own power source means then it is a active device data. Examples are active RFID street sensor or wireless sensor nodes. So these treated as an best examples. Street light sensors or wireless sensor nodes. An active device also has associated with microcontrollers, memory and transceivers. These active device data possess these microcontroller, memory and transceivers. Now let us see what is the event data. A device can generate data on an event only once. So if you are using the event data, the device can generate data on an event. So the generation of data can be based on the events only. It can generate only once. For example, on detection of the traffic or on dark ambient conditions, which signals the event. Whenever the dark region is identified, immediately light will be glowing. So it is based on events. So this is the best example. The event on darkness communicates a need for lighting up a group of street lights. So here it is suggesting that whenever the darkness has occurs, automatically the sensor nodes will generate the power source and the street lights will glow. The system consisting of security cameras can generate data on an event of security breach or an detection of an intrusion. So here once again one more example is giving that security cameras can generate data on an event of security breach. Whatever the conditions we are providing, based on the conditions it is generating the data. The components and device is an automobile generates data of their performance and functioning. So here taking the components and the devices in automobiles, it generates the data of their performance and functioning. If you are using in the automobiles, we are going to be using certain components and devices. Based on that components and devices we are identifying the performance and functioning of that device. So it is also generating the data. It is also an event data. Without performing that event it won't give us the performance or functionings. For example, on wearing out of a brake lining, a play in steering wheel and reduced air condition is felt. So whenever you are applying the brakes, automatically it affects you to the steering control of. Based on that the automobile or the car or the any devices can reduce the function of air conditioning. So it is reducing. So it is an event. The data communicates to the internet. Later onwards it can be communicated through the internet. The communication take place as when an automobile reaches a near Wi-Fi access point. So after generating all these data can be communicated through internet and reaches near Wi-Fi access points. Next, our concept is the device real-time data. Let us see what is the device real-time data. The best example is ATM machines. An ATM generates the data and communicates it to the server instantly through the internet. So we are using the ATM machines, so whatever the ATM generates the data, that generated data can communicate it to the server instantaneously through the internet. So instantaneously the data can be transmitted through the internet. This initiates and enables online transaction processing in real time. So this is the best example of OLTP. That OLTP stands for online transaction processing in real times. Next, our concept is event driven device data. Let us see what is event driven device data. A device data can generate on an event only once. So whatever the device data can generate on an event only once. Let us see an example. A device receives command. So after receiving a command from the controller or monitor, then performs actions. So please make a note. Whenever a device receives a command from the controller or monitor, then performs actions using an actuator. When the action completes, then the device sends an acknowledgement. After the action is completed, after the task is completed, then it sends the acknowledgement. So this is one of our best example. When an application seeks the status of a device, then the device communicates the status. So whenever the application want to see the status of a device, the device communicates that status. So that means whenever we are sending a message, we can identify after the sending that received is an acknowledgement and it is showing that. So based on that applications, we are identifying the status of the device. So likewise, in the same sense, every device performs a certain actions, and whatever the actions we have done, it will be stored in your actuators. So later onwards, we are identifying the status of that device. Now let us see what is the 5.2.2 data acquisition. Data acquisition means acquiring data from IoT or M2M devices. Whatever the data we are acquiring from a device from IoT or machine to machine devices is called as data acquisition. The data communicates after the interaction with the data acquisition system. So whatever the data we have generated, the generated data can be communicated after the interaction with an applications. Data acquisition systems are nothing but an applications. The application interact and communicate with a number of devices for acquiring the needed data. So by using that application program, we are interacting and communicating with a number of devices of acquiring the needed data. What are the data is needed, we are communicating with those devices through these applications. The devices sense data on demand or at programmed intervals. So automatically the devices sense the data on demands or programmed intervals. So periodically it will sense. Data of device communicate using the network, transport and security layers. We are identified how this data communicates through the layers. So here it is suggesting as if I want to communicate that data through the internet, these data device communicate using the network layer followed by the transport and security layers. An application can configure the device for data when device have configuration capabilities. So automatically an application program can set up the device for the data when device have setting capabilities. Configuration capabilities is nothing but setting capabilities. For example, the system can configure device to send data at defined periodic intervals. The system can set up the devices to send data and defined periodic intervals. Whatever the periodic intervals you are suggesting, the data can be sends based on the configurations. Each device configuration controls the frequency of data generation. So every device setup controls the frequency of data generation. Whatever the data you have generated through the devices, whatever the data transmitted based on data configuration, device configurations. Application can configure sending of data after filtering or enriching at the gateway at the data adoption layer. So by using this application, we are configuring the sending of data after filtering or enriching. As we know, what do you mean by filtering or enriching? Filtering means identifying the easy way at the gateway at the adoption layers. Data adoption layer, we are identifying in which route it has to be transmitted. The gateway in between the application and the device can provision for one or more following functions. So if we are using the gateway in between applications, if we are using the applications in every internet applications, we are using the gateways, and by using these gateways, devices can provision one or the following functions, that is the transcoding, data management, and device management. Transcoding means conversion of one form to another form. Data management, how that after the conversion, how we have to manage those data, and device management, and how that data can be managed through that device. Data management may be provisioning for the privacy and security. So you are suggesting as data management may be provisioning of privacy and security, and data integration, compaction, and fusion. So here the data management suggesting as the privacy and security policy. Whenever you are sending the data is not supposed to be identified by any hackers. So here it comes the privacy and security matters. Also the data integrations, whether any data is getting duplicate or not, and compactions, a large data has to be compaction, in the sense compaction means a large data can be compressing, and fusions and fusioning. These are the functionals of data management. Device management softwares, let us see what is the device management. Device management software provision for the device ID. By using this device management softwares, we are identifying which device you are using, what are the ID of the device, activations and setups, configuring, managing device parameters and settings. So configuration in the sense setups, registering, deregistering, attaching and detaching. So by using this device management, we are identifying your device and your device activations and your device setups, as well as whether that device is registered or deregistered, whether it is attached or detached. So these are the functionals of device management. And next our concept is data validation. Data acquired from the device does not mean the data are correct, meaningful or consistent. So whenever the data acquired from the device doesn't mean that data are correct or meaningful or consistent. Data consistency means, once again it comes as a consistency. Data consistency means with expected range data, or as per pattern, or data not corrupted during transmission. So in the data consistency means within the range or within the pattern, or data should not be corrupted, data not corrupted during transmission. Therefore, data needs validation checks. Data validation software do the validation checks on the acquired data. By using that validation software only, we can check the validation on the access to data. Validation software applies the logic, rules and semantics annotations. By using this validation software, it applies a logic rules and syntactical rules annotations. The application or service depends on valid data. Whatever the application or service depends on only the valid data. Then only the analytics, prediction, prescription, diagnosis and decisions can be acceptable. By using these services, we can analyze, predict, prescribe, diagnose and take the decision of the access acquired data. Acquired data can be acceptable based on the validations. Next our topic is data categorization for storage. If you want to store the data, on what categorization we are storing the data. So services, business processes and business intelligence use data. So we are using the three kinds of data. Those are the service data, business process data and business intelligence data. We have to use these kinds of data. Valid, useful and relevant data can be categorized into three categories for storage. So the valid data can be, or useful and relevant data can be categorized into three categories for the storage. That is data alone, data as well as the result of processing. Only the result of data analytics are stored. First one is data alone, second one is data as well as result of processing. Third one is only the result of data analytics are stored. Following are the three cases for storage. Here we are using the three cases. By using these cases we can store the data. Data which need to be repeatedly processed, referenced or audited in future, and therefore data alone need to be stored. So if you are using the repeated data for processing, for referring or for editing in futures, so if you want to calculate it in future also, and therefore data alone needs to be stored. These kinds of data alone should be stored. Data which needs processing only once and the results are used at a later time using the analytics, and both the data and result of processing and analytics are stored. So second point suggests data which needs processing only once. We want to process only once and the result are used at a later time using the analytics, and both the data and results of processing and analytics are stored. So these kinds of data should be stored. Advantages of this case are quick visualization and report generation without reprocessing. So the best example is we are recharging our mobiles at once, and whenever we are processing our recharge, it will show how much of a process we have done. That is, if you are sending the SMS per a day, it will generate the immediate reports. If you are speaking with someone, it reports immediately how much of time you have spent. So these kinds of data is very much important. Advantages of these cases are quick visualization. So it clearly gives the visualization and reports generation without reprocessing. Without reprocessing, it is displaying that result. Also the data is available for reference or auditing in future. These data as available for our reference and auditing in future also. So the best is the JioSIMs. If you are using the MyJio app, you are identifying your SMS, to whom you have sent, and later also it is showing to whom you have sent, and how much of a data you have called. Every information is audited in future also, it is stored. And third point is online real-time or streaming data need to be processed. So you're suggesting as online real-time or streaming data need to be processed, and the result of processing and analysis needed storage. So whatever the online real-time or streaming data need to be processed, and the result of processing and analysis need storage. So that results of processing analysis also need to be storage. So here it is suggesting as online real-time. Best example we can suggest some of the machines. For example, if you go for a petrol bunk, if you ask for the amount of data, amount of fuel, it will be stored. Later onwards we can get. Suppose if you are using that machines, bus ticketing machines, it will store, and we will get that online as well as real-time data. So by using these kinds of data, we can process, and the result of processing and analysis needed storage. So compulsory these kinds of data analysis and processing should be need storage. Data from large number of devices and source categorized into fourth category called big data. Data is stored in database, at a server, or in a data warehouse or a cloud as a big data. Whatever the data stored in the database server or a data warehouse or a cloud is treated as a big data. where we are going to be storing a large amount of data is storing. Next, our concept is assembly software for the events. A device can generate events. As we know, a device can generate the event. For example, a sensor can generate an event when temperature reaches a preset value or falls below a threshold. Whenever the temperature rises or falls down, it will generate some events. A pressure sensor in a boiler generates an event when pressure exceeds a critical value which warrants attention. So if you are using the pressure sensors in boilers, it generates an event when pressure exceeds the critical value. Whatever the value we have set it, if it is exceeds, it will shows the critical value which warrants attention, which warns us. So from this we are identifying that every event can be assigned an ID. So an event has to be assigned an ID. A logic value sets or resets for an event state. We are setting a logical values for setting or resetting the event state. Logic 1 refers to an event generated but not yet acted upon. So it is just like as a true false. Logic 1 refers to an event generated but not yet acted upon. Logic 0 refers to an event generated and acted upon or not yet generated. So it is either true or false. So as we know, true state as well as false state. It is getting ready and get ready. A software component in application can assemble the events. By using the software component in applications can assemble the events, that is the logic value, event ID and device ID, and can also add date timestamp. So for generating an events, we have to use compulsory date timestamp. At what time it has to generate, at what date it has to generate. So this is very much essential. Events from IoTs and logic flows assemble using software. So whatever the events here from IoT or and logical flows, these flows are using from only softwares only. Next, our concept is a data store. A data store is a data repository of set of objects which integrate into store. By using this data store, we are storing the set of objects in the form of a data repository. So already you are familiar with the repository. Let us see the features of data stores. Objects in data store are modeled using classes which are defined by the database schemas. So we are storing the data in the form of a data repository as a object. So object in a data store are modeled using classes which are defined by the database schemas. So you are familiar with the database tables. A data store is a general concept. We know data store is a general concept. It includes data repositories such as database, relational database, flat file, spreadsheet, mail server, web server, directory services and VMware. So in data stores, it includes your database concepts, relational database, flat files, spreadsheet, mail servers, web server, directory services and virtual VMware. A data store may be distributed over multiple nodes. So if you want to access any kind of your data, that data can be accessed through from internet through a data stores. Apache Cassandra is an example of distributed data stores. So if you are accessing your data from your data store, it means the best example is Apache Cassandra. It is a software. By using this software, we are accessing your data from your data store. A data store may consist of multiple schemes or may consist of data in only one scheme. So whatever the data you are storing in data store consisting of multiple tables or consisting of only one table. Schemes are nothing but tables. Examples of only one scheme data store is relational database. If you are using only one scheme data store is called as a relational database. A database is a repository of data which can be relied upon for reporting, analytics process, knowledge, discovery, and intelligence. So if you are using the database repository of data, so repository of data, on based on that repository of data, you can able to get reportings, analytics, process, knowledge, and discovery and intelligence. A flat file is another repository. So if you are suppose you are using a flat file, then flat file is treated as an another repository. Flat file means a file in which the record have no structured interrelationship. So here flat file, if you are using the flat file, then a record have no structural interrelationship. Whatever the data you have stored, it doesn't consist of any external relationship, interrelationship. Okay. VMware uses data store to refer to a file that stores a virtual machine. So suppose if you are using the VMware, then it uses the data stores to store a file that stores on a virtual machine. So whatever the file you are storing in the data store can be referred by the virtual machine. Next, our concept is data center management. A data center is a facility which has multiple banks of computers, servers, large memory systems, high-speed network, and internet connectivity. So compulsory, if we want to manage our data store, compulsory we require data center management, where it facilitates the multiple banks of computers as a servers, large memory systems, high-speed networks, and also it possesses internet connectivity. The center provides data security and protection using advanced tools. By using this data center management, it provides high security and protection of advanced tools, full data backup along with data recovery. You are familiar that it provides a full data backup along with data recovery. Even your data has lost, we can recover from that. Redundant data communication connections. So it also identifies the redundancy. Redundant, already you are familiar, that is a duplication, right? Redundant data communication connections and full system power as well as electricity supply backups. So it provides a full system power as well as electricity supply backups. Based on that electricity and advanced tools, it provides high security and protection to your data, and also it provides the backups. Even any system failovers, you can retrieve your data from the backups, and you are also maintain the redundant data. Large industrial units, banks, railways, airlines, and units for whom data are the critical component use the service of data centers. So where we are going to be using these data centers are necessary for large industrial units, means companies. For example, we are using the Google is one of a well established server, so where it maintains all the data. And banks, we are seeing the banks where it stores a huge amount of data. Railways also stores the large amount of data. Airlines and units for whom data are critical component use the service of data centers. So these units are definitely required to manage these services of our data centers, because these units definitely requires high security and high protection tools to manage those data. Data centers also possess a dust-free heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So please make note, there may be a chance of asking the question of expand HVAC. HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Data centers also possess dust-free. If you are maintaining the data centers, so data centers is a place where we are maintaining a huge amount of computers with advanced tools, where we are storing your data with high productivity and high connectivity tools. So if you are maintaining those kinds of systems, those data center must be dust free. It must possess an heating, ventilation, and air conditionings as well as cooling. humidification and dehumidification equipments. So we have to well maintain those systems, pressurization systems with a physically highly secure environment. Moreover, that data has to be safeguarded by providing a pressurization system with physically high secure environment. The manager of data center is responsible for all technical and IT issues. So already you are familiar with your DBMS, that is a data administrator and data managers. So the manager of a data center is responsible for all technical and IT issues, operations of computers and servers, data entries, data security, data quality control, network quality control, and the management of the services and application used for data processing. The manager of data center is responsible for the following operations, that is computers and servers, data entries, data securities, data quality control, network quality control, and the management of the service and application used for data processing. Next, our concept is the server management. Server management means managing services, setup and maintenance of system of all types associated with the server. So already you are familiar with the definition. Server management means managing the services, setups and maintenance of a system of all types associated with the server. A server needs to serve around the clock. Here, a server needs to serve around the clock means it based on CPU functions. Clock is nothing but a CPU functionings. Server management includes managing the following. Let us see what is the management of a server. Let us see these points. Short reaction time when system or network is down. When the system or network is down, it immediately has to be respond and it has immediately react. Highly security standard by routinely performing system maintenance and updation. So it requires high security standards performing the system maintenance and updation. Even we are using the system updates and maintenance, it has to be use high security standards. Periodic system update for state of art setups. So timely it has to be update the setups because updation is very much essential. Whenever a new technology is coming, it has to be acceptable and it has to be updatable. Optimized performance. It has to give maximum performance. Optimized performance. Monitoring of all critical services with SMS and email notifications. It also absorb the critical services, and if it is any critical, it has to notify to the managers or any professions with SMS and email notifications. Security of systems and protection, and also it is the main role of a server management is security of system and protection. Maintaining confidentiality and privacy of data. Moreover, the confidentiality and privacy of data is supposed to be maintained. It is very much essential. High degree of security and integrity and effective protection of data. So high degree of security and integrity and effective protection of data, files and database at the organizations. In the organizations, if you are maintaining the server management, it has to provide these features. Protection of customer data or enterprise internal documents by attackers, which includes spam mails, unauthorized use of access to the server, viruses, malware and worms. So customer data or enterprise internal documents should be protected. Otherwise the attackers will attack the valid data or valuable files. So it will create a greatest loss to the organization or any industry. So server management has to protect our data from spam mails, unauthorized use of access to the servers, viruses, malware and worms. Your unauthorized uses of access to the servers are nothing but hackers. And viruses is a program, malwares are the program and worms are the program. By using this program, it is not supposed to be affect to your server system where you are maintaining your confidentiality data and integrity data. strict documentation and audit of all activities. So it has to be regularly maintain the logs, and it has to give the documentation and audit of all activities, who has accessed, what data has accessed, all these information has to be supposed to be maintained.